So when you look at my electoral competition, you're looking at the difference between 7,900 and 79,000, and that's basically where you're looking at, the absolute rival competition that I have between my company use and my interactive skills within the metropolitan area of Atlanta, Austin, Boston, Colorado, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Kansas. That's just part of the 861 state that we have here in the political system. And, mine's always been a winning fighting territory, for the last 98 years. And, that's basically where I'm fighting to keep sustained, uh, a sustained mortgage payment for my real estate residence in 1841 to 2024, and being able to afford my own house, and that just being able to have $861 a week, and being able to transfer it out, and being able to get a PMC method of response and trans tax, being able to be ready for bill purchasing of my own type of flavor. And it's basically where I contribute major components of compositions, where you're building an equivalent as an associate. So that associate teaches you a whole generation of heliocentric theory moments that happened, from 1841 to 1992, and being able to form different images of literary arts, and basically what it is to create English and reading, and being able to just astonish the difference between the two, and building a better alphabetical reason for the reason why you are successful, and being able to fill in a competition level is more of getting what you want, of how you want it and when you want it, and it's basically how you pre-order your game or order your pizza on GameFly, or basically how you pre-order your lifestyle. Being able to order is something that you need in the actual day of living. And, that's just been here since 1860. So, that's basically a proud proposition that we use. And nowadays, and, we just want to continue to, understand the manual of instructions from another perspective. And this is a county of a state of a sort, of 761 counties, 641 counties as well, and 644 counties as well. So it's just a county out of counties, and basically, whereas focusing on remaining to be a penal code of 377 counties. And, that's basically where you're working on your nationalism of federal states, and, being able to complete a common attribute of what all states you represent, and where they are as far as where the city is, as far as Southwest and Delta goes, on a flight of 761 flight dismissal. And that's basically characterizing a flight being paid for 761 times, and as long as you basically carrying on with those occupations and those procedures, you're basically gonna be covered for your flight expenses, and basically working on Trivago, Prospect, and Delta and Southwest flights. You're working on the whole technology of that, and Google Infomark, and being able to process invoice of that stuff, and being able to work like DHL is a product of equal leaf, and it's just more predominant, prohensive detail that goes on with DWL's industries and supplies and statistics, and it's basically where Max Preps and Dave Campbell's have exhilarated the price between that, and that's just being the norm of 76 499 ratio 80. That's a hell of a ratio for itself. So you just got to know where to start and where to calibrate your ratios and how to sufficientate them, and make them more adaptive to the health science of being part of the health provider. And that's basically what I've done all my 20 years of education, being able to expand and elaborate and enhance data as far as what you should know about, more of what you should know about your doctor and your fire station in your urbanized city in 1933 to 2022. And it keeps going further, and it's basically where we're working on a lot of Star Trek. We're in the book reading of Star Trek. You could be at the community center, you can be at your residential real estate, and cooling, revamping, getting your Venus Serena and your Venus or Serena in, relaxing. It's 861 hours out here, so you gotta be able to rejuvenate yourself and be more calmer. And that's part of the Austin that I'm from, as to what I represent as a more calmer, cozier casualties. And that goes all the way from Riverside to Cesar Chavez, all the way up to Rumberg. And it's basically cozy, casual, Madrid and Thailand and Indonesia. You were using countries like that off of those, continents like that off of those countries. So those countries like that provide the liquidation. That's basically a system that's been happening since 1861. So we're being able to cope with that, and get higher on that as we incline off the central markets. And that's basically what drives me nuts today. Is it's a whole bunch of combative information, and if you read it, you might see a little difference in the progress that is made. It's much different from 1841. It's more updated to 2041. Making successful products. This is like after it made 851 stops. So you're talking about the normal day CR England, which is like 85,000 dimes away from the natural zone of state of where you're understanding, that a truck is a truck, and that it has laws to it, and being able to deform the fact that that's a lawful deed, that it needs to be at its place that it is. And it's the time that you come figuring that stuff, and that's about 10 years old to about 18 years old. So you start in your little moderate peak of that, and that's just the basics of where you start your analysis as you looking at the truck. And you're more configured by your ATS or by your Mercedes, or by your or just normally by the casual Impala 2018. And you just want to make a sale, and you want to be a premium sale. You want to make a premium sale, so you want to look as diligent as possible, so you get an Impala 18. And that's just part of the ways of living for normal casualties, as though you live in just to have fun. You probably could have fun Impala. Then again, you could have a corporate park Impala where you talk about communications with organizations, and being able to get in touch with your outreach teams. Then being able to combatilate with with the all kind of organizations and associations that's out there, being able to you know get $721 out of $82,000, and being able to get it out of $729,000. And that's basically where you're going up against a whole trade, and you're getting the eye for an eye factor coming in, and that's a whole 761 dime of a difference. Compassionate what eye for an eye mean in elementary to what eye for an eye mean in college, and being able to expand that and enhance that and promote it at the same time. And it's basically where you're getting the throwback to the flashback, and then you start getting the premieres, and up to the official videos, and being able to acquire those things for 2006 to 2018. And this is basically where you're starting a philosophy of where to put your 8943 house, and being able to establish it on more of the credibility that it endows itself, and being able to establish moves of 759 hours of processing and accessory advocating. And it's basically what's all going on as part of moderating. And not everybody's having the same occupation, so that mind rocks a few people, and not able to fully sustain the same art as each other's diverse companies. And that's where you lead as far as a truck, and being able to lead for the example of the truck that it is, and being able to understand those methods. And that's basically 766% that gets diverse and dispensed between the industry's company. And that's how it makes its extra currency from Spotify, PMC2 squared. So it's a known company, known for recommended bill statements, being able to pay on bills the advanced way, and being able to. So that's basically what PMC is here to do, as it practices bill statement deferments. Being able to pay it at a longer rate for a higher interest rate. And being able to figure out your program, because once I was buying that Sierra, I noticed that it was $515 to pay for the monthly payment. It should have been more like $355 in order for it to be a normal truck of its characteristics. And if it was, I wouldn't complain about the total price, but I would more like complain about the percentage of the monthly payment getting paid. If I was paying $355 a month, that's more basic. More basic detail of how much I would pay to get my first chips in, or my first portions, for a better portion of truck ownership. And that's basically where you was working on your truck ownership. So with that being said, you leaving off the lot, that's $76,000 and $640 of interest fees that's already accounted into the monthly payment. You're already getting bills like that as soon as you leave off the lot. And it's basically $76,640 of trans tax being deducted. And being able to do long division like that is what EcoLeaf and PMC2 squared is adapted to astonished at the hour, as there are two different companies working for two different functions. And just like the the census from long division, that's two different situations. Now when you get those two different functions moving in PMC two squares, or in that ordinary function, which is a little stronger to its essentials, and basically making a better compassion for itself, and being able to build a positive nature, and being able to have the decency to have ownership in a truck, and that's basically where that goes to. So that's like 90-30%, going towards a paid truck, and what I was saying about a truck, that it costs, it costs money. Now the thing that I was saying, that if the truck is paid, that's basically because I'm basically going over $500 billion versus it being $3 million. This is about $500 billion. So it should be gone in the next, 4 or 5 50s. So, and actually that day I came in there with about 10 hundreds. So, you wouldn't know the difference between 520 and hundreds, or 520 and 50s. So, that's basically where you're setting the difference between DWL and the following oppositions of the competitor, and being able to understand why DWL gets the truck more often than the competitor after graduating from 12th grade high school. And that's basically graduating out of Cedar Park or Lago Vista or Westlake. It has its own pride, strength and pride coming from its own district. And we're basically just seeing the region of Reagan, and being able to understand high school, and that's basically where you're getting 539 districts of a whole state coming from a certain territory of acknowledgments, and being able to handle with the county laws, and being able to describe different points of elaboration, and being able to defer a premium option, being able to make that more premium, and comfort is luxury and premium analysis. That's basically where you're making the biggest statistic of life, being able to put that particular subscription into a premium charter, whether it's a car or a truck, you just got to put it in this premium brand and be able to use it in a comfortable luxury market as you're getting more towards 2014 and 2022. 2028, you're getting more older, and you gotta have a nicer car that leads you to about 16-year coverage if you're trying to get in my range, and that's basically $36,450. That type of accessory is analysis, and it's basically going on a dime worth. So he's not knowing how much the trans tax could be affiliated at that time. You're working on $80,000 worth of profits at the time. So it's way much than just a Sierra or just a Denali HD. You're working on full payments. It might not be the highest payment, but it's a full payment. You're not always gonna have that top art money, and that's basically what my dad was telling me as far as being a restaurant versus a custodian or a executive chief officer. You're a restaurant, so you're gonna have these certain standards like a restaurant, and that's basically where you're going, to your standard level, and being able to handle your 70-year advancements as far as that go, because only a chef is going to need what he uses daily, and the daily chef is going to use his supply tools, and basically that's basically where we want to promote those itineraries as far as that coming from Catfish Industries. And that's basically what we want to do to the holiday seasons is calibrate those purchases and those payment options and make it more particular to the invested customer or the investing client. And the thing that I'm doing is I'm being more compassionate or more prescribed to the company that endorses to my dad, and be able to comply with his communications, so that we can have a signature tool that we like to use that makes the generation a little bit more antique or unique in a way. And it's basically where we want to be able to create a bigger establishment for a factual statement that something that we like to do, and something that creates character challenges for ourselves as we create 90-30% of of increased trans tax. Now, it's not a scary thing that you learn in trans tax. That is a qualified amount of money, but it's basically being used for bill statements and property rights, and basically learning the upkeep of your keeping the upkeep of your economy. That's basically spending 730 is basically spending like $22 already. You spend like 70-30, you spending like $22. And it's basically where you're getting a bigger definition of how to spend trans tax as you get more affiliated with the opposite, or the opposite oppositions, as far as subtotal and the other objectives that go in the receipt of sales imbalances when you purchase your items. And it's basically where you're working on that wholesale, and that's like 899% of progression that goes throughout those compartments on Spotify PMC, yellow, green, and orange. So basically we started a Spotify PMC and we add categories to it, and from those categories we start different serial numbers, and go on with mathematical decisions, and being able to support strategies and methods a little bit more, and being able to support our factory intelligence that we have at Infinity Moguls, and being able to use a better analysis, works a better analysis for instructing the people's art of work,